Hello and welcome to the Control Alt Record podcast. My name is Chris, and joining you is Brett from the team. Just the two of us, because we actually have a little bit of a guest. We have a guest this time round. His name is Pavlovaface. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Great to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
No, and thank you for coming on board. What we'll do is just get all the usual Twitter, Twitchy stuff out the way. So for our podcast listeners, if you haven't had a chance to come over to our Twitch channel, please do so. You can just come over to twitch.tv/Herdy_TV. And of course, Twitter is at CarPodTV. Email is carpodtv@gmail.com. Facebook, just Control Alt Record. Instagram, CarPodTV. But of course, as always, the written description in the description of this episode, you will find all of that good stuff to make it easy for you. But we are joined by Pavlovaface. He is a WA-based Twitch streamer. He's also one of the staff members for the official Twitch Perth Twitter page, community. You could probably do a better job explaining what that is, Pav. Can you just do a quick summary of the officialness of what you are now a staff member of?
So as of about a year ago, I became staff of the streaming community in Perth. And just recently, we've got an official connection with to Twitch, as in they're our sponsors for our meetups. So yeah, it's a really cool stuff happening with them.
They're the sponsors of the meetup. So you've done a couple now. So and of course, Twitch Perth, the community, it's very much open to everyone. You don't have to be a streamer to join. You don't actually even have to be in WA to join. You can just join to be part of a streaming community, because after all, that's the best thing about streaming. It's all online, so it doesn't matter where you're from. So you've done a couple, or been involved in a couple of events recently, and I think the most recent one was which was a lot of fun down at, what was the place called?
Escape Portal down in Cannington.
Sorry, Portal down in Cannington. That was it.
Escape Portal.
Escape Portal. So they're a LAN center, have an amazing setup, and when you were trying to get things like that, as sort of like, I guess, does Twitch have any influence there to try and get you the booking? Because we took up what felt like a good sort of quarter or a third of the space. By having the Twitch sort of brand behind you, does that make it a little bit easier to kind of be, let's book this space, or do they?
It definitely does. For the most part, it definitely does. It adds to the legitimacy of our group. But fortunate for us, we've got some other amazing streamers and community members part of the staff team, and they've got amazing contacts through streaming and part of the stream teams and everything. So that our most recent one at Escape Portal was put together with the help of Ground Zero, a Perth gaming esports team, and they had a big aspect to that. But then again, our official nature with Twitch definitely added to the legitimacy of getting them on board as well.
So with Twitch sponsoring the group itself, does that get any sort of added sort of, I don't know, bonus, or does that sort of get you any sort of additional leeway in the Perth streaming community at all? Like, when they say you're sponsored, do they help out with anything, or is it just, hey, you guys have the brand behind you, go do what you want type thing?
It's a much more we do what we want, and they've been amazing in supporting us with a lot of guidance, and they've supplied us with an amazing amount of loot and actually this sweater as well. They've gave us a lot of stuff giving out to the community completely for free.
Because at the last event, there was a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys were giving away. There were the Twitch pillows and shirts and things like that. Was that all given to you by Twitch?
Absolutely given to us by.
Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Purely for helping grow the community and just show it's them backing the communities that we.
Damn, that's actually pretty cool. I just thought that was you guys on your own back.
No, not at all. It's all Twitch, and they're really amazing for it.
Jeez, all right, that's awesome. So look, what we're going to do as part of our show, we will go into a bit of sort of news bits and pieces now, because we'll actually then, circle back to you. Just, I guess that's sort of the structure of how we sort of format our show a little bit. But what we're going to do is there is actually something that is coming up in sort of about a month's time. So, or just over a month's time, from October 1 through to October 4. And this is a pretty cool thing, I think, for us, and specifically Brett. And sorry, have you said hi? Do you want to jump in?
Hello.
Hi. Okay. Just sitting there. Just thought, just kind of.
Microphone's even on.
Is your microphone on? So October 1 to October 4 is actually Perth Podcast Week. And what is kind of cool about this, because it's podcasts and that's what we do, but we're actually part of there is actually what they sort of call experts.
Basically, it's a thing. Square Cubed is a co-working space, a Perth co-working space, and they try to sort of bring together entrepreneurs and stuff like that. And I've recently started working there, and I noticed they had a podcast room. So I got talking to one of the marketing managers, and they sort of had suggested they're trying to put together one of these, podcast weeks where they can get, just local Perth podcasters to come together. And then basically they said, do you want to come on and basically come onto a panel where they're going to talk about group dynamics? And I was like, well, I don't really know anything about group dynamics, but I'm happy to come on and take part. Right. And, so, I've been doing it for a few years and stuff like that. So I might have something to add. And then anyway, so they went and put they said, cool. And they went and put the thing up on the internet. And it said, joining us on this panel will be group dynamics expert Brett Ryder. I'm like, what? So now my goal is to learn, a bit more about group dynamics, and hopefully
not learn, become more advanced. You already are learned in the ways of dynamics.
I know.
I
guess I know from doing it for a few years, but expert might be a stretch. Yeah.
So look,
if Carly, if you're listening to this, I am actually an expert. So disregard what. Exactly. Yeah, that's back. No, it'll be fine. And it's going to be fun to meet some of the local, podcasters that are doing stuff in Perth and do a bit of networking as well, which should be good. Yeah. So I think it's exciting.
I think if you are in Perth and you're interested to know more about podcasting, so it's going to be October 3rd from I think 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Brett's going to be up there on a panel discussing group dynamics.
Being an expert.
Expert Brett Ryder is up on the panel talking about podcast group dynamics. And so I think it's also going to be really cool just to promote the whole podcast community as well. But what this actually has got me thinking of for you, Pav, is, you've done, collabs on Twitch with other people. Mm-hmm. And going into something like that, is there anything that you kind of have to think about before, say, look, I'll do a stream with you, I'll do a collaboration with you, or are you kind of just easy going? Because I kind of feel that you have to have the right, I guess, dynamics as a streamer. Because you don't want to sort of, I guess, I don't know, what do you look for in someone if you want to do a collab with them?
I'm definitely still at the stage where I'm just saying yes to any collabs, and just to more well-verse myself in what I do and don't want in the dynamic between the streamers. But yeah, absolutely. How to say it? Like, I'm really just looking for like a spark in terms of what connection, back and forth, how we go. That's really all that I need. I'm pretty laid back in terms of it because I'm all about growing community and meeting new people and exploring that connection. So.
Well, it's. I think they're very different disciplines and very different. I've used that word now twice, 2 weeks in a row. The word discipline because
well, we were talking about YouTubers versus streamers, and we're talking about that is a totally different discipline is the word you use.
That's the word that I use. What's your views on this actually, Pat? Because last week, one of the things we were talking about is the whole ninja move into Mixer. And one of the other hosts here, Michael, sort of threw up the whole, PewDiePie did that and he went to D-Live and that doesn't seem to have taken off. And I sort of made the comment about the skill and the discipline between the two sort of genres, YouTuber.
Sorry, let's put that down a little bit.
Am I too close to it?
You're hard peeing into it.
Oh, sorry. See, that's part of that group dynamic. You're keeping an eye out for your fellow co-host, and you're like, oh, let's move the mic just a little bit because so there you go. That's what dynamics is all about.
I don't think that's what it is. I think that's just like, that's more like just...
You are an expert.
And so I sort of just made the comment about how streaming and YouTube creation are two totally different disciplines. So, I think Ninja's going to have more of a success moving to Mixer than PewDiePie did going to DLive. So, and Michael kind of, he didn't take offense to it, but he just thought it was a bit weird to sort of classify gaming content as a discipline or a skill. It's like, I think
it obviously is a skill, because there's some
100%.
people who are good at it, some people aren't. So, yeah.
But what about you, Pat? Would you sort of classify YouTube content creation versus streaming as, a label as two sort of individual disciplines?
Not sure about how don't know how to call it a discipline. I don't know how you're using the word, but it's definitely two different. Well, yeah, it is. It's two different, very different skill sets that go into it, and there's definitely overlapping features, but yeah, it's definitely two different beasts.
I guess I was thinking it because people do have streaming careers, people do have YouTube content careers, and so for me, it was more looking at discipline as from an employment perspective, where it's like, no, they are two different.
I think a big part of like YouTube as well is video editing skills. So that just doesn't even apply when you're streaming. But if you're doing, to be a good YouTuber, you have to be a good video editor. You have to know when to do the cuts. You need to be very skilled in that. And obviously, the bigger up guys, like PewDiePie, he would have someone do it for him.
Yeah.
But he started out, he was doing his own videos and he did his own editing until I think 2016 or something like that. So
yes.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing. Like when you look at, because you watch a PewDiePie video and they are super produced and the way they're edited and cut, fair enough. But then if you actually watch him live streaming, it's just like he's a different person.
It's boring.
He's a different person compared to, say, Ninja, who I guess brings just different skills to that.
What is but Ninja does barely talk, so because I was watching Ninja and he just sits there quietly. So it's like,
I guess if you watch,
he's good. Like he's bloody good at Fortnite.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's not talking. So
so I think when you look at, say, people like Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, the production value that they bring to streaming was totally different to sort of what I think PewDiePie brings. So the thing is, Ninja, he streams like 10 hours a day type thing.
Yeah.
So when you watch him on that off chance, sure, there's going to be some downtimes, I bet. Anyway, I was just like, off topic there.
What do you think of Mixer, Pav?
I've not got no quarrels with that. I was actually just been checking it out the last couple of weeks, seeing what it's about. I'm not seeing any merit in myself swapping over. I was considering it, but like I was looking around, I don't see. I don't know. It's
you've already got a sort of a foothold in Twitch, so it's probably silly to jump over to Mixer. But it seems to be a lot of there seems to be, from my point of view, too many streamers and not enough viewers. Because I think a lot of people that haven't gotten anywhere with Twitch are jumping over to Mixer to try and get in early. But everyone's got the same idea. Because we were looking at like Warframe and stuff, and there was so many empty channels. It just feels like it's even.
When I was watching, I tried to look into Warframe, and there was the highest viewership was nine people in the biggest.
Yeah. It's just not enough people yet, but there might be over time.
I guess that is the thing. Like, because I've actually as well been sort of doing some Mixer streams over the last sort of couple of weeks. Not hardcore or anything like that. I only stream once or twice a week. And the last couple of weeks I have been going on to Mixer, and it's a bit hit and miss. You get some follows here or there. Sometimes you get viewers, sometimes you don't get viewers. And I guess it's certainly in a very sort of unique situation where I know for me, like for our channel, say it's probably not as large as yours, Pav. So for you to sort of make a move, it probably has more of an impact. But for the reason why I'm giving it a go is because it's like, well, I don't have we don't have a larger audience or a following on this particular channel. So is it going to be as big of a risk for me to sort of to go over and give it a crack? Yeah. And look, there are some interesting things about Mixer that I find, particularly for a viewer, and how you can get involved with the chat and earning sort of what they call sparks and make things more interactive for the viewer, which is quite cool. One thing the bigger Mixer streamers have is you can actually interact. Like as a viewer, you can sort of I haven't researched it too much, so I don't know the sort of complete details of it, but you can actually interact with the game the streamer is playing by using. Yeah, I know, it's really weird.
What do you mean?
I probably should have researched this a little bit more before I actually.
This is
I
like
didn't
one of those
actually think we were
things
going
you
to
read the headline and you didn't read
No,
anything.
because you can actually go onto streamers and there's actually like if you have Sparks, and Sparks are just like a particular currency that you can earn and you can then use on the streamer and put in sort of little emojis and stuff like that, and you earn Sparks by simply watching. Very similar to DLive and how their Bitcoin system worked. But what you can do, some streamers have these commands where you can kind of go do X, Y, Z, to the streamer or to the game or something like that, and you spend Sparks on it, and it's supposed to interact with the game and the streamer in some particular ways. So I can certainly look into it a bit more and bring it up next time. Just to clarify, to sort of prove it is actually a thing.
I like the FTL thing. So like when you do chat, it actually comes up within 1 second. We actually tested it,
Yes.
and it's literally like 1 second delay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I can see Twitch adopting that at some point, I think.
So Twitch has a low latency mode though. So Pav, you might be able to maybe, hopefully maybe explain what that, the low latency mode. So FTL on Mixer is basically faster than light technology, where the information of the data is being delivered differently to the Mixer server directly, rather than using like a third party sort of internet node server or something like that. So it actually allows for like a 1 second sort of delay between viewer and the streamer. So it allows for faster interaction with communication. What is it? Twitch has a low latency mode. Is that the same, or is it at that sort of sub 1 second delay?
It's not 1 second. I think when I was testing it, it was about 2 to 4 seconds, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't needing any fuss on that.
It's like, are you really going to be burdened by a couple of seconds?
Yeah, like it's plenty to reply. Yeah,
Gives you a few seconds to maybe think of your response.
yeah, and they have another system where it gives you like a 6 second buffer as well, like a moderation buffer. So the messages only gets pushed out for everyone to see after like 4 or 6 seconds. Like you can set it. So if someone types something out and you reply to it, and it'll come up at the same time you're replying to it. So there'll still be that delay for that one person to actually type the message, but for anyone else, they'll be seeing the message and you replying at the same time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat.
Chris, do you want to just give out the address for Square Cubed for the podcast week, in case anyone's interested? They can look up all the details.
We probably should do that, just because we are involved with it. So we probably should actually promote that just a little bit.
So if you'd like to promote it.
Which bit am I looking at?
Oh, I don't know. Just if you give out maybe the website and people can go and look at all the events.
So if you go to, we'll add it to the description.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Of the show notes of the episode.
For anyone now.
But if you head over to spacecube.com/Perth-podcast-week, or just head over to the spacecube.com website, you'll be able to navigate your way to the Perth Podcast Week. And it's got some more information there. So if you are interested, they've got different sort of talks and chat panels through over the couple of days.
Some of them are sold out. There's actually been very popular.
Yeah.
There's a couple where they're talking about how to set up a podcast, and they've literally completely sold all the tickets.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite popular.
So there's definitely some different levels. So if you are someone, I know actually Captain Perth's been talking about doing podcast stuff. So he might be, something. If you listen to this, maybe go check that out. Well, actually, that one's sold out. How to set up a podcast, as you just said,
It's sold out.
But there are other
like
talks.
my expert panel isn't sold out yet. Still tickets available. They're selling like hotcakes.
So I think the tickets are like $10 or something like that.
Come and hear me.
So,
it's more if you want to come and watch me like flounder on stage and struggle.
If you want to see how not to do it.
Yeah, for that entertainment value, it might be worth it.
So just very quickly, just on that last little point. So Agnes in our Twitch chat has sort of said the instant interaction does make it easier to help in games through. So yeah, look, I think the instant interaction is a really good plus. I think it's a positive thing to sort of have. But like you said, 2 to 4 seconds really isn't that much of a delay. Now
that Agnes mentions it, I have actually been noticing that delay when recently with the Hollow Knight streams. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. People in chat are like, "No, it's right here." I was like,
and you're too far gone.
I've already moved like in that few seconds.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Instant, that is probably something that they'll hopefully look into eventually. But
So, in other massive news in the YouTube world, PewDiePie has just recently, I think in the last sort of 24 hours, has hit 100 million subscribers, which is absolutely insane. It's absolutely crazy to think that he sort of did it. Over the last sort of 12 months, there was a big push and there was a big subscribe to PewDiePie sort of slogan that was sort of going around, and one of the big pushes behind that was because there was I think it was an Indian music channel, T-Series, started sort of...
It's not fair though, because that's an organisation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
like he seemed a bit devastated about it because he's always like, I don't care, but then he talks about it like every single recording he does goes on about T-Series so much, but it's like I don't even care. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, it is an organisation, so I don't think it's really fair to compare one person to a whole. Because what's T-Series? It's a music thing, isn't it? Like an Indian music thing.
Yeah, there's something.
And it's
like
like India's has a lot of people, so.
And I'm pretty sure, yeah, there is a lot of people for sure. But I think there was also a thing that, like, if you were in India and you created like a Google or a Gmail, they were like automatically subscribing you to T-Series.
Oh well,
there was something like that.
Cheating.
There was something like that going on. So it basically
scumbags.
It doesn't count.
No. I don't think it counts at all.
Well, no, okay, look, it does count because there are other corporations out there with channels, but go up against them, not against...
Is there anyone else over 100 million?
I'm pretty sure what's that music channel? There's a music channel. It's an American one.
Oh, the good old one. I'm not going to remember for the life of me.
You can quickly Google it.
But there's no single YouTubers.
There's no single YouTuber. No, in terms of individual content creator, PewDiePie is the first one to 100 million. Sort of after him in third place, the next one down is 60 million, which is the channel. I had it right here, but then I sort of scrolled away.
The next guy down is Dude Perfect, who's got 44.8 million. It's a big drop down though.
It's a massive difference, yeah. So I think that might be the actual individuals. So there was another one at 60 million here.
Yeah, so there's 5 Minute Crafts.
5 Minute Crafts, that was the one at 60 million.
So T-Series 109 million, PewDiePie 100 million. It's quite a big jump though, down to the next one.
It's a massive difference. It's a massive difference.
I don't know how does it get so many. Do you, Pav, do you watch any of PewDiePie videos?
No, not at all.
I used to think, I was like, oh, it's dumb.
Not in many years.
And then my girlfriend was watching them and she's like, you should watch them, they're funny. And then I think I watched one and I was like, oh, that's pretty good actually. And then I was like, now I watch them quite a lot. Actually.
He's definitely, he's got a personality and a character that initially you kind of think, oh, he's advertising to like 12-year-olds, and he basically is.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel there is a lot of adult humor in there
that
younger kids would not get. But I feel he's almost pulling off the Simpsons vibe. Where it's like it's for kids,
I feel like that.
But has adult humor.
Yeah.
That you will only get.
And his video, they're really well edited videos, and they have a lot of like he does meme review, which is really funny, and he gets a lot of content off Reddit and stuff like that, and just comments on it, and it's just fun. It's like if you want something, you don't have to think really, and you can just kind of laugh at. And turn your brain off.
You can turn your brain off. And you probably find a lot of YouTubers you could do that. Markiplier, you can just turn your brain off.
Oh, definitely.
So, look, nothing really much about that other than, good job. Congratulations. 100 million subscribers on YouTube.
And he got married as well.
And he got married this week.
He's just killing it.
Yeah, he did get married this week. Have you seen his wife?
Big week.
She's fucking hot.
Yeah. What do you expect?
He got married this week, hit 100 million subscribers. So I'm going to be very interested to see what YouTube send him, because I think at certain milestones you get like the YouTube create like if your logo, and they create it in like platinum and then diamond and all that type of stuff. So I wonder when he's going to get 100 million.
What's 100 million in terms of, I don't know, is it some sort of gem?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. Like, no.
What's 100 then? What would that be?
Oh, I don't remember. I have no idea. I don't know. Not much about that. Any thoughts on that one, Pav? Other than good job, well done.
Oh yeah, good job, well done.
This next little bit, I'm just going to play.
Are you ready to laugh? Yes.
All right. So we've got. Where did I put it? Where did I put it here? Okay. So a couple of years ago, there was this infamous saying. And I just want to very quickly play this for you. And Pav, as we've already established offline, that you won't hear it because of the way it's all set up. But for our other listeners, I want you to listen to this and see what you remember, and you can probably see where we're maybe going with this. So let me just play this bit of audio for you.
And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
You think you do, but you don't. Now, WoW Classic is launching tomorrow. I think it's like 6 a.m., 5 a.m. our time or something like that.
Is it tomorrow? I thought it was Wednesday. Is it tomorrow?
Nah, I got the dates wrong. Now, the reason why I wanted to play
have a day
that
off.
you think you do, but you don't, is because Blizzard have realized that with the amount of people resubscribing to play Classic WoW, that the servers that they have released, they have now had to add more server capacity and more servers to their systems to allow more people to play. They were predicting queue times of up to 10-hour waits to get on because one particular server had 10,000. They were expecting queues of like 10,000 plus people.
Wow.
So when you think about it, a couple of years ago, they're going, you think you want this, but you don't. And then as soon as it's here, it's around the corner, everybody wants it. And it's like, how can you be...
So that was a response to a guy in the audience going, can you put
Yeah,
in
so
the
that
old
particular-
servers, like put in the old expansions? And he was just being a smug dick, basically.
Yes, yeah. So there was a guy in the audience that, as part of the Q&A, sort of asked the question that, do you have any plans to ever sort of implement any sort of, previously iterated expansions or something like that? And he's like, no, you think you want that, but you don't. But yet here we are, less than 12 hours away, and it's at max capacity because people want it.
But it'd be interesting to see like how many people stick around. That's really what's going to... Because you got the nostalgia, you know how you like remember games, like that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you go and play them, they're not as good as you think. I'm not saying it's going to be the case with WoW Classic, but I've had that experience with several games that I've tried to play from my childhood and stuff. I've gone to play it and go, wow, this is actually dog shit. But yeah, it's like, so with WoW Classic, I'm definitely going to play it, and I think everyone's going to play it. It's just, what's the retention rate going to be?
Yeah, and I guess that's part of it. So, Pav, were you ever a WoW Classic player?
I've actually not played any WoW of any sort.
Ooh, wow.
I will be jumping on this bandwagon though. Captain Burt did convince me purely by saying it's a once in a lifetime. Like, there's never going to be another time WoW gets re-released, and it's just a big gaming that don't really want to. If you miss it, like when it's big, like now, you're not gonna. There's no point touching it.
Yeah, so I guess that's the thing. I think a lot of people, as Brett was sort of saying, is it's going to be great for like maybe a month.
Yeah.
And I feel after that, people are probably going to drop off. And one of the things, and that's probably also why that I think, they're not. They are adding more servers, but you'll probably find they're not adding as many as they probably need, because you'll probably find in a month's time how much the player base actually hang around, and it's like, oh, look at all these servers that we put money into and the resource that we put into sort of, giving you the guys the capacity, and you're all gone. Because I do think very quickly people will realize that, yes, it's WoW Classic. There's a reason why it changed, and one of the things that people aren't going to have like they used to was, for me anyway, in my opinion, is discovering something new. One of the great things about WoW back in the day was it was new. I mean, look, there was EverQuest and all that type of stuff, but in terms of what Blizzard brought to the table, it was something new. There was new stuff to discover. There was new mechanics to learn. There were new bosses to learn. And initially, it was all about that level of discoverability. This is all new. Playing it now is going to be like, oh, I remember that. Oh, this is how you do that. And very quickly, it's like that sense
I
of
already
discovery is
remember
gone.
most of the zones. I can just think of them, and I can sort of remember, I can remember like Booty Bay, like, for example, which is, I can sort of remember them roughly. So I think as you're playing, I'm going to be like, oh yeah. So it's going to be like a kind of nostalgia trip. But I think it still should be as addictive as it was, like it'd be...
It could be. I mean, it could be as addictive. So, Pav, you've been convinced to get into it.
Definitely gonna give it a shot.
What about the chat? Are you anyone in the chat? Agnes said rose-colored glasses won't last long. Yeah, probably agree.
That's what I sort of think. Within a month, it'll probably like ease off, and you'll find like major streamers will still be playing it. That's probably about it. But yeah, so you've been convinced to give it a go. Are you going to be there when it launches? Are you going to give it a couple of days to see how it sort of tracks, how it trends?
Probably be giving it a couple of days, in all honesty. Yeah,
give it a couple of days, because that's the thing. Like, because although we're talking about the servers at max sort of capacity and all this type of stuff, they're all the US servers. So for the Oceanic servers, there's two. There's a PvE one and a PvP. And the PvP server is already at a high population, where the PvE one is at a medium. So you'll probably
we should be all right just to jump on and play?
I think we should be okay.
Yeah.
because
So it's tomorrow at 6, is it?
I think it's something like that. It's like 6 a.m.
I think I need to check this.
Yeah, there's a countdown.
I literally might have the day off work tomorrow if that's the case.
Oh, fuck you.
I'll send you updates.
So that's the thing. Fuck off. Jesus.
What if you suddenly felt ill? It's not like it could happen.
This is my problem. My boss is a gamer as well, and if I was sick tomorrow, I think he would know why. And that's not a good look. So
It says 27th of August, but is that like US time or is that?
yeah, tomorrow's the 27th.
Yeah, I know, but is that US?
So-
So it's like they're behind us.
No, that's right, but I'm pretty sure that might be our time because I was looking at it yesterday. I was on Twitch last night, and one of the channels was showing the old WoW South Park episode just on repeat, and it was a countdown, and it had like
Oh, here we go. There's a countdown timer.
there's a
Just
countdown
loading
timer. Yeah. Have you got it there? Just open it up. So there's just Brad here has found a countdown timer on his phone. 9 hours.
It's out in 9 hours.
Yeah, in 9 hours. So tomorrow.
Okay, you're right.
there you
Sorry, I was just checking on you because sometimes your information.
Yeah,
is not
sometimes the
100%.
information is a bit off.
Oh, I better get my character made then.
Yeah, you might want to do that. So, Pav, have you thought about what type of class you're going to play? Have you got into that type of level of thinking yet? Because as soon as it goes live, it's go time.
No. Short answer, no. I'm gonna, in true Pav fashion, I'm gonna do no research and struggle and be falling over my own feet for the first few days of it.
All right. Well, maybe we can we can try and help you out. So, what and chat get involved. What do you think Pav should be playing? So, what is your particular style or archetype of a class? Are you melee? Are you range spell?
Definitely spellcast. I'd generally play a spellcast though.
All right, so we're narrowed down to half of the classes. So let's have a look. So we've got. So when you say spell casting, what do you like in your spells? What do you like in spell casting?
Okay, so I'm so usually my D&D I play a bard. Because for no reason, I don't know why I even brought that up. But in
Well, there's no bards, so okay. So what do you
in Skyrim? I play a destruction mage.
a destruction mage? Okay,
Yep.
so
So
I'm,
DPS basically.
Well, yeah. So there's because I mean there is the priest, but yeah, if you're going to priest in WoW Classic, there is some like damaged skill trees, but if you're a priest, you're basically going to be a healer. That's kind of how it works. Okay, so you play destruction. So I've got two classes in mind that you're probably then going to suit. It really comes down to then your fire mage or your destruction warlock. So both are going to bring you the fire, both are going to bring you the flames. I think the only difference between them is that, warlocks have the pets, they have some demon, companions that you can run around with and can help you out. Fire mage. Don't
even tell me about the fire mage. I'm sold.
Oh, okay, there you go. So, destruction. So, sounds like the warlock is for you.
Warlock.
And see, the way I try to question that in a way because I didn't want to say that's why I said, "What's your style?" or "What do you like in spells?" Because I didn't want to go you get those like Facebook surveys. It's like, which Avenger are you? Do you like the color
It's
green?
kind of how it was coming across.
Well, that was what I was trying to angle, because questions like, do you like shields or the color green? Well, I wonder which one I'm going to be. That's why I tried to say, what is your particular style of spellcasting?
Yeah.
So, destruction warlock. There you go.
Done.
Awesome. Well, look, I hope you enjoy it because it is a fantastic game.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know what to expect, but I'm going in with an open mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't even have quest markers and stuff, do they, in the original one? It was quite sort of...
No, it was just read the text and figure it out.
Yeah, which is cool. I think that makes it more interesting. It can be frustrating.
So
It's probably like Hollow Knight where you just don't know where the fuck you are most of the time.
Yeah. Actually, Agnes in chat has made a really good point about the warlock will be make it easier for you to solo level as well. That is true because they've definitely got the warlock had a lot of crowd controlling type abilities, with fear and stuns and things like that. Where the thing with the mage is you're going to have like super high damage output, but you're super squishy. Although the Warlock is going to be pretty squishy, and you could die quite easily, it has a lot more control in how you sort of control your enemy. One of my favorite things, I used to always have like a mate who was a rogue, and he could never beat me as a Warlock because back then they had really bad diminishing returns on their skills. So what that is basically the more you use a spell, the less efficient it becomes. So I used to just constantly spam fear. He just kept running around. I used to keep shooting him, and then he could get to the point I'd kill him, and he wouldn't even touch me.
Yeah.
So that's actually a very good point there, Agnes. Warlock will be a lot easier for you to level, and if this is your first experience, I'd say go with it. Warlock was actually my very first max level character as well.
I've only played Druid, and that's it. So I'm thinking, because I'm kind of in two frames of mind, do I go back and just go for the full nostalgia, play the Druid class, and just, do what I knew just for like that sort of feeling of, my childhood essentially, wasn't actually a child, but around there.
Yeah, close enough.
Or do I do something new and try a new class? So I don't know. I'm still a bit.
Do we need to decide for you tonight as well?
I don't know because I can't answer the questions. I can't answer the questions as easily.
Yeah, because you know about it, where Pav is like completely brand new, doesn't know what to expect.
I just did like with the Druid how you could turn into a bear, and then you could be sort of a tank-ish, and then you could also turn into like a panther type thing. You do like rogue damage from behind, you can backstab and stuff, and you could do healing as well. So it's quite versatile. I like the versatile classes. I think it's a bit more interesting to play because you can sort of choose different styles.
Yeah.
So that was
that's fair enough. Sort of jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Type thing. Cool. So what we're actually going to do is at this part of the show, we're going to turn our attention now. Just very quickly going to answer that one to Agnes. There better not be any dual talent skill trees.
This is something that came later, obviously.
This is something that came later. So basically what that is like every class has three skill trees. All offering various ways of sort of play styles. And later on, they eventually got to the point where there was the dual talent specialization. So you could actually, because what was happening, you could only spec into one, and it would cost you money. Back in WoW Classic, it's very hard to come across gold. It's very hard to make money, but you had to then spend money to reset that if you wanted to change into a different skill tree. So they eventually brought out dual specializations. So then you could have 2 out of the 3. So maybe you want, say, a tank or a warrior, you'd be a tank, and then switch over to the DPS class with no additional cost. That kind of took away, I think, the focus and the emphasis on the type of character that it was. And then eventually they got to the point where it's just like they got rid of dual talent. They went, have it all.
They just make it easier.
Hey, you can have it all now. So there better not be, because I felt that was... It kind of felt that by putting the really sort of restrictive cost behind re-speccing it, made the decisions that you put into that skill tree all the more valuable because you didn't want to fuck that up. You would actually go into WoW wiki guides to find out what is the best tree before you go and spend points on it, that type of thing. So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to turn our focus to the man of the hour, Pavlovaface. So he has his Twitch channel where you're going to find him streaming games such as Warframe, Hollow Knight, Sea of Thieves. I kind of feel you have a very nice singing voice as well. There's a few times where I've heard you on stream just pop out a bit of a tune. Is that something you do people kind of know you for that you've got a bit of a voice? Is that a thing that you hear?
This is the first time I've heard someone compliment.
Really? Oh, okay.
on stream, at least. I usually get nothing but shutdowns from Dano. As you would expect, though.
Well, Dano, I think you're wrong. I think Pav has a great voice.
What sort of stuff are you singing, Pav?
I have no idea.
He probably doesn't even realize he's doing it.
Big Agnes says is a big Pav fan there over in chat at the moment. I've.
And I'm guessing we can't ask for a sort of example.
In all honesty, it comes more from the fact of like when chat is a bit quiet, I need to feel like engaged and feel like I'm actually doing something other than just playing the game, and I'd just try and say something, and I usually say it to a tune that's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And that's just to like kind of clear a bit of the quietness that's happening on stream. But that's really
interesting. So it's sort of a technique just to keep yourself engaged with the stream.
Yeah.
So you don't just sit there quietly.
Yeah.
I think because I have very, very limited streaming experience, but that's definitely one thing I've noticed will happen. You'll just be kind of playing and you're like, oh yeah, I'm streaming. And like, you kind of just sit there and you just go like, you're just like focusing in tunnel vision on the game. and you're totally oblivious to if anyone's even said anything in the chat. You're like, whoops.
So outside of singing, tell us a bit more about your channel. Like, what do you? Okay, when I say singing, it's like you belt out the sort of quick 1 or 2 sentence type, sort of tune. That's what you do. You're not sort of sitting there like with a microphone singing to your viewers. So, what is your channel about, and what do you bring to viewers?
That's it's a big question. Personally, I still to this day see myself as a hobbyist stream. Like I'm just learning. I'm just trying to absorb information still. Like I don't have a brand or a theme yet. I'm just like I'm growing. I'm learning. There's lots and lots to learn. Right now, my focus is more the Perth community and just exploring streams. It really is all I'm doing. I don't really know personally what I bring to the stream table, but like I like to think that it's just a fun experience, fun to watch, and I'm just hope people have a good time and enjoying what I try to put on the table.
Do you stream pretty much every day, Pav? Like
no, not at all. When I first started, I was doing about 5 days a week, like 8 hours a day. It was like I was new to it, and that's just all I wanted to do. I was unemployed, but then I got burnt out real quick, and I think I stopped streaming for like 4 to 6 months, and then about a year ago, I got back on the Twitch horse, doing Saturdays only for 4 hours, and that was it. And then I'm just slowly being trickling up, getting more hours under my belt, and now I'm at two streams a week, Saturday, Sunday. We're doing about 9 to 11 hours on a Saturday and 6 hours on a Sunday.
Damn, 9 to 11 hours. How do you survive? I think the most I've ever done is a 3-hour stream, and that was once, and I was just like, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
Well, I the rest of the day is generally a write-off, and I'm straight to bed. But it honestly, it's from changing up my system. Like, I used to just be playing Warframe, just be like stuck on the same kind of schedule, and I found that bringing new games and trying to step out of my comfort zone, trying new things, definitely just reinvigorates the mood and like the drive to like stream longer. Like the first and second Hollow Knight stream, I think I jumped on like for I jumped on with the expectation of streaming for maybe an hour or two, just to, like learn the game a little bit. Next thing I know, 11 hours have passed, so I ended up doing a 13-hour stream.
Damn.
Unrealizing, like it's like it just flew by, and it's
I was gonna say, I kind of feel like I know those gaming sessions there where it's like, I can sit down for 12 hours and no problem. But I think as soon as like you turn your lights on and there's a camera, all of a sudden there's like, an expectation to, you kind of have to be somewhat lively. Otherwise you're probably not going to be sort of bringing in sort of attention or anything like that. But I just sometimes find just the lights just shining into my eyes and my face. I'm just like, oh my God, this is just draining and mentally draining. So how you do that, I have no idea.
It really just stems from new games, new experiences, kind of like just jumping into something new. Just like it makes you forget about everything else, and you're more focused on the game, so you forget a little bit about everything else. But having like built the schedule, built like the repetition of streaming, like I only play games now when I'm streaming, so that's all I kind of know at the moment. So like it's now checking Twitch chat every few seconds is just part of gaming.
It's just
So it sort of becomes like a muscle memory sort of type thing. So I was going to ask you that. So you don't play any games not streaming them. You only will stream.
Very rarely. I think I've dropped Warframe because I kind of Warframe kind of owns my soul a little bit. I've played for so long. I can't not play it, but like I don't have time to play it on stream, so I rather just like completely blank mind and do some Warframe like an hour a day just to get through the content I need to do.
So I'm just going to quickly circle back into into the Twitch chat as we were talking about what you bring, and I think Agnes in the Twitch chat has kind of probably summed it up pretty well. So for our listeners, and you want to know what Pav is about, this is kind of it. So as a viewer, he brings a relaxed channel where you can't help but join in with his infectious laugh and smile. Makes everyone welcome. If that's not a great sort of description of what you bring, that's a great endorsement. So any listeners, of course, we will have all your details as well in the show notes, so people can try and find you and easily find you. So I think that's a pretty good line. I think that's a pretty good endorsement. So we are going to. So outside of, you said Warframe sort of your main game, and I do want to talk about Warframe because I'm also a Warframe fan. But we'll circle back to that one because one of the things have a think about, like, what is it that for you makes Warframe so awesome? So we're going to swing back to that question, and it's also about what do you find awesome about Warframe, and what do you do to try and convince people to play it and things like that. So we're going to come back to that. But what else outside of Warframe? You also play Hollow Knight. You've played Sea of Thieves. Do you have anything else? Any other go-tos that that you sort of have in your library that this is going to be? I'm going to consistently play this. I'm going to, or do you change up every week, or what can people find on your channel?
I'm a very, very much a variety caster. So like we've got Minecraft and Binding of Isaac, which also makes an appearance every so often. But yeah, it's I've very much delved into like trying new games. So I'll be doing something new so I've already got the next 3 games planned out. So as soon as I finish Hollow Knight, I'm planning on 112%ing the game. Hopefully, I don't burn out before that. But then we got Ori and the Blind Forest. We got Dead Cells coming up. So we just and I want to get into the Soul games as well. Trying out Hollow Knight. Everybody's telling me I should try out Dark Souls.
So you've got Dead Cells coming up, Ori and the Blind Forest. You're going to go for the 112% on Hollow Knight. We're going to come back to Hollow Knight as well in terms of, I saw your tweet the other day about you've 100% completed Hollow Knight. Now you're going for 112%. My brain doesn't compute that, so you're going to have to explain that to me what that is. Then you're looking at the Dark Souls trilogy, and you stream twice a week.
Yeah.
How are you going to fit all this in?
This is a very long
I think you're going to have to open. I think you need to start streaming more often, by the sounds of it.
I'm trying to sneak in a couple weekday streams as well. Now that it's like I'm always trying to balance the life priorities. So like putting enough time for work, putting enough time for sleep, social life, and stream, because they're like my biggest priorities. I don't want
social life always gets in the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, so.
And as you said, you're the staff member for Twitch Perth as well, where you're also busy organising events for people as well.
Yeah. Well,
where do you find time to work?
I don't do much else. Like my social life is pretty much died for the most part. But yeah, I work, sleep, and organize events for stream as well as work. I do a bit of events, a few events for work as well. But it's my passion, so I don't really mind, or like it doesn't affect me. It doesn't do anything. But yeah, it's important to me, and I need to find the balance. Yeah. So stream is unfortunately taking a little bit of a backseat for everything else. So hopefully we're trying to push it. I want to push to four days a week streaming by the end of the year. I'm not sure if I'll make it, but that's kind of my selfish goal to try and get back onto that.
Do you find that certain games are better for streaming than others? Like, do you have any, like, the games you're playing? Are you just like, I want to play these games and I happen to be streaming them, or do you choose them specifically for streaming purposes? Or is it a bit of both?
I guess a bit of both. It's definitely always going to come down to the person who's streaming it, and it needs to be something you're passionate about. You can't choose it just because you think it'll be a good streaming game, because you think it'll get you views, you think it'll get you interactions, you think it might get you anything on that sort of side. If that's the pure reason you do, you're not enjoying it. It's kind of old news. That's what everybody knows, that you got to play something you enjoy. Is your first priority.
My sort of theory is like games that are difficult, for example, like you're playing, Hollow Knight and stuff like that. They're more probably entertaining to watch for the viewer. Like they're fun to play as well, but they're entertaining because you sort of get riled up and you just get into them more. Whereas if you're playing something that's kind of easy and relaxed, it's like, oh, this is I don't know, like an example might be like No Man's Sky. You're trying to play that and it's like, it's just so chilled out. It's like, what am I even going to talk about? Because there's no challenge.
Another
going on.
tree.
Yeah. I'm mining 6 crystals.
There's definitely an audience for it all. So like like regardless, you'll find people who want to watch that sort of content.
Yeah.
It just depends. Yeah. It definitely just comes down to who the streamer is and how they play the game. Like for me, like Warframe's become kind of a game that I don't really enjoy streaming. Mostly because it's a very hard game to follow. You generally only find people who watch Warframe streams are people who play a lot of Warframe, and
I have an
a good
understanding
point.
of what's going on.
Because like Chris streams Warframe sometimes, and if I jump in, I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on, and he's like flying around or he's in his ship, and I'm just like, I don't really care or know what's happening, and this isn't actually entertaining to me. So I told Chris, I'm like, play a horror game or play something that's like going to scare him, and that will be fun because I get to watch his reaction. So that's what I think anyway.
So like I personally don't get a lot of like external viewership outside of like the people who already follow the channel through Warframe. Like I still enjoy playing it and everything, but I don't know. It's kind of I've gotten bored streaming it. I don't know how to describe it.
So I mean, on Warframe, I mean, how many hours have you put into Warframe now?
That's also a very hard question. My Steam says 8,000 hours, but my the in-game
8,000.
Yeah, I leave like it's a very very rough number because this will be I've been playing it like 6 years now. There's been many a night that I've just left it online like.
So it's not all.
So what does your in-game profile say?
In-game profile only calculates like the in-mission time, and that's getting to about 3,000.
Oh, is that all? It's not nothing.
So here's the thing though, with the so the profile time played doesn't add in you just standing around your ship not doing it. It's only the time played in your missions.
Just played in the mission.
Now let's put that into a little bit of perspective. So you're approaching 3,000 hours, and that's being calculated off just mission times. Mission times on average will last anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. That is a lot of fucking missions. 5 to 10 minutes per mission. Some will go a little bit longer because there are some, there's different game modes that have like waves after waves. So you can go longer for sure. But on average, I think it would be a fairly good sort of solid guess at 5 to 10 minutes. At nearly 3,000 hours. That is ridiculous.
How many hours have you played?
130?
Pathetic.
Yes, I know.
You haven't even started.
I basically haven't started. So
the beauty of Warframe is you can get up to like 1,000 hours, and people will still say you're a baby at the game.
Yeah, you're still a noob.
That is what is so cool about it because after once I'm sort of into the 100+ hour mark now, and there is still so much to learn about the game. There's still heaps that I don't fully grasp. Like there's things that I just gloss over because I don't have I don't want to have to spend a long time learning the systems. One of the cool things I do think about Warframe is definitely the community, and one thing I think is great. The way a lot of people, particularly on our show, we bang on about spoilers and things like that. And one of our hosts, Michael, he doesn't care for spoilers. Like he doesn't care that you spoil something for him, but he's also doesn't really care if he spoils things for you. So even though you might not like it. But one of the things in the game, I think there's a particular mission that, once again, because of the way, I'm sure Pav has already got in his mind exactly the mission that I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. There's a particular mission that I didn't get to until the 70-hour mark. And it's sort of very much renowned in the Warframe community that it is, from a storytelling perspective, one of the best missions that people have ever played in any game. And it's been out, that particular mission has been out for...
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking of your...
that has been out for many, many years, and I can almost guarantee that you will not find a spoiler for that particular mission anywhere. And if you go to the communities, people will say, look, not going to talk about it. Literally, it's worth just playing the 70-odd hours to get to that mission, just to play it, to see how it changes the game. And to this day, after many, many years, people just don't talk about it. People might ask the question, and people go, I'm not telling you. And that is very much that. You'll find that on the subreddit. You'll find that on the Warframe forums. No one will talk about it. And I think that's a really cool thing about the community is that they the love they put into the game, and that the way that mission has sort of taken off. It's just no one talks about it. I don't even want to say the name of what it's called. If you want to get to it, you'll get to it. But anyway, but look,
some people don't play Warframe. And
No,
this
they
isn't
don't.
interesting for people that don't play.
No, probably not. But I just want to highlight I think the community and the players that's how much they sort of enjoy this game. They love this game. So one of the things that you said, Brett, like you come in, I've played it. You come in like you don't care because you don't understand it. So this is now a question for Pav. Just setting the scene. What do you do when you come across someone who doesn't play Warframe, doesn't get Warframe, and how would you try to sell?
He doesn't try to force them to play, probably. Oh no, I'll let him answer.
How do you explain?
He seems like a nice guy, so he probably doesn't.
That is
force
exactly my approach. I say it is an amazing game. It's not for everyone, but it's free. So if you like looter shooters, if you like Space Ninjas, give it a shot. It's literally free. You're not going to lose anything, and you go into it fully expecting not everybody will get that hook that a lot of us do, and a lot of people get to like a point where the steep learning curve is just too much.
What do you think that point is, in your opinion? Because I've got my thoughts on what it is, but what do you?
It is when your base weapons stop doing damage and you need to learn how to mod, and it's the modding that learning to actually level up your mods rather than getting new weapons, and learning what mods to put on your weapons is roughly where the learning curve starts. And a lot of people drop off there. It was where it is. It was what I found at least.
Yeah, it's just getting to that sort of next level of sort of damage that you can actually start killing harder shit and things like that.
Yeah.
So Hollow Knight is also a game that you play, and you did tweet out that you've recently 100%. You're 100% of the game, and now you're going for 112%.
Yes. So they've it's just the additional DLCs that they've added over the time. Increases the amount of
so 100% is like the base game.
I think I haven't officially got it now that I've looked into it. I don't think I've officially gotten the 100% because I've gotten a few percentages from the DLCs, so I haven't done all of the really difficult stuff from the base game. But we're still aiming for it, so we're gonna get there one day.
So you're pretty good. So what are the type of things that you need to be doing to 100% the game? Like, is there certain challenges or It's not just a matter of killing all the bosses, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no. So we've done just about all the bosses. I think there might be one or two missing that we just haven't found yet. But there's an arena, so it's like a waves of missions, waves of enemies coming in. So it's Arena of the Fool, which is known to be pretty difficult. There's one nightmare boss. Which is all I'll say. That's supposed to be really difficult, and then there's a third ending boss that I need to do as well. And beyond that, there's apparently Pantheons, which is like very much hard, like boss raid missions that I think you need completion rate to get to the 112. But yeah, I'm trying not to read too much into it. I'm just going by what my chat says. I'm trying to be as blind as I can playing it.
Do you find like one thing is when you're trying to stream a game, people kind of throw almost like not spoilers, but they can sort of spoil it a little bit by telling you what's coming up and stuff like that?
It's been pretty good though. Like for the most part, we've had zero spoilers. Like
that's cool.
There's only been chat about like kind of this like boss is pretty hard, like as we walk into it, like kind of thing. And then as we found, like the Hall of the Gods is where the Pantheon challenges are. Apparently and they said that's pretty difficult as well. And that it's just like boss after boss after boss. But other than that, like that's been the extent of the spoilers, which is zero part of the actual story, or like, it's kind of the end bits, like.
We found that a lot with because we did like a Terraria stream that we were doing, and it was literally just spoiler central. Like everyone's just like, do this, and they're like telling us everything about the game, and it's like, you sort of want to say, I kind of want to discover some things myself, but there's I don't know if maybe it's just the Terraria community, and it's appreciated they're trying to help you, but at the same time, it's like you do want to learn some things yourself. I mean, we had a bunch of people say, I'll come into your game and I'll like dupe like cheat and dupe all this stuff for you. It's like, well, I'll give you the best item in the game. It's like, but that doesn't, like, if you do that, then what am I going to do? Because I've already got the best stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, like stuff like that. And it's like, I understand they're trying to be helpful, but...
have you had any difficult viewers trolls or pain in the asses come into your chat that you're just like, okay, that's enough. Time for you to...
when I first started streaming, I was playing a lot of Minecraft because my computer at the time is literally all it could run. So and streaming Minecraft is known to be known to have mountains and mountains of trolls. And
really?
We learned pretty early on how to deal. Just a quick ban, and if we're in an open channel, just swap to a closed channel. And that's been pretty quick. We're pretty much on top of the bans and the trolls, and
so some communities are just a bit more toxic or whatever than others. And Minecraft is a specifically bad one, obviously.
Yeah, and it's pretty widely known.
Yeah. Okay. What have you? So obviously you've been streaming for a while now. Like, what are some of the main things you've learnt about it? Is that too broad a question?
It's I don't really know how to answer. It's
say more like what works in terms of like getting, like, say if someone's just starting out, like what tips would you give them? What's the best way to, like, for a new streamer? It's obviously quite intimidating. What would you say? The sort of some tips to get started.
Brett's asking for himself
a little bit.
It's just kind of singing the same song that everyone gives to new streamers. The tips: pick a schedule, stay to a schedule.
Yeah. So consistency is important.
Yeah, I hear that word a lot.
Yeah, consistency is key.
Okay.
I consistently hear that word.
Is that like the main thing?
It really is, like, because when you stream, you wanted to say, "Oh, we'll be back this time next week," instead of like
you're like a TV show. Like, it's the same time every week.
The Pav show's on at whatever 12 o'clock. We're gonna be there.
Yeah.
All day Saturday.
All day Saturday is where you'll find me. So
consistency is one of the big ones.
It's really the main one. Then it's your growth stems from your interaction with chat and how you present yourself on, like, other socials. Like, other social media is very important. Build up a Discord, build up Instagram, build up a Twitter, and for me, my main thing is when you go and watch other streamers as well. And once you become a good viewer, you'll know how to be a better streamer.
That makes sense.
And that's generally my advice. It's very vague, as it always is, because you can't. There's no exact keys to the castle. Like, you're not gonna.
I think you've made some good points, though. Like,
one thing is going to work for everyone.
I think, like you say, consistency is key. That comes up, I think, for everything. The more you do it, it's like sales. The more you do it, the more likely you're going to sort of be seen. The more chances you are of having people follow. I think the networking, as you sort of said there, with get a Discord, get onto Instagram, get onto Twitter. Building that networking and building that sort of community is, I think, like you said, it's a key thing. So I think you've made some.
And another one
really
you sort of
points.
mentioned earlier was playing games you enjoy. Don't just play games because you think you're going to get more people watching you.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's a mistake that a lot of people make, right? They'll just go, let's find the game that people are going to watch me. And then they're like probably not even enjoying it. And it's like, what's the point?
Because I guess that's also the thing is, a lot of the times when I watch streamers is I'm watching them, or if I'm watching YouTubers, it's because they're providing not just the gameplay, but it's about the knowledge, the experience, and the advice that they can pass on. Like, when I play Diablo 3, I'll watch particular Diablo 3 YouTubers because they're going, you want this build with this particular weapon, and then at this particular level, you switch to this skill. Yeah. And it's like, you know what you're talking about. They're the people that I'm going to go and watch. So, but I think that's just tying back into, playing games that you enjoy, you're more likely going to know how to play the game and have experience in the game if you enjoy it and you keep sort of playing
and being genuine and having fun, right? Like, that's going to come across, I imagine.
So one of the things we also do with our guests, I didn't mention this to you.
I'm waiting. This is what I've been waiting for. All right, let's do this.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So what do you think it is?
It's the I don't know what you call it, but it's your quiz.
He knows it. It's the quiz. It's the 10 questions. I give you an A or B. I guess I don't have to give you the example because it sounds like you know how it works. I give you two things. It's the first thing that comes to your top of your mind. Okay. Well, since you know what's coming up, then
it's important to say there is no right or wrong answer, but there is kind of a wrong answer.
There's no right or wrong, but I'll tell you which one it is.
Yeah.
So.
And from watching a little bit, I'm pretty certain I'm going to get some wrong answers.
And as always, at the end of it, what we will want is for you to maybe think of an A and B, so we can add it to our list, so we can continue to grow that particular question. So we'll start off with some easy ones, but this needs to be, quick and fast. No thinking aloud. So PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Yes.
See, it's correct answer.
It's the correct answer, exactly.
Yeah.
NVIDIA or AMD?
NVIDIA, but only because that's what I've been using.
So you
Good, that's 2 out of 2.
Aliens or Predator?
Predator.
Okay, all right, yep.
Actually, you could take either for that one, I reckon.
No,
they're both cool.
Predator's way better.
I'm
But
pretty
Aliens
impressed.
cool as well.
They are cool in their own way, but Predator's way better. We have Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Yes.
Has anyone ever said DC?
You?
Apart from me.
Apart from you? I don't know, actually. I don't think so. Being a PlayStation fan, Tomb Raider or Uncharted?
Uncharted. I don't think I've played either.
Oh, okay. Let's change that one. Let's make it easier. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck off. Whatever.
Captain America or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Star Wars, Star Trek?
Star Wars.
You didn't seem confident about
No, it's just like, oh, really? That was a question? Oh, yeah.
Also, 2 things I have not watched.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Please explain that one. How have you not watched either?
Wait, you haven't
any
watched
of
Star
them?
Wars? Like, I get Star Trek because like it's kind of a geeky thing, but like, Star Wars.
Just never got around to it. There's enough pop culture references to know what happens in the game.
Have you seen any of them? Like even the old one?
Literally
Oh,
none.
really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, I apologize.
Oh no, it's sort of yeah.
Don't know what
We're not judging you or anything.
I'm feeling it.
Call of Duty or Battlefield?
Battlefield.
Fallout or Elder Scrolls?
Oh, 100% Elder Scrolls.
Okay, that's fine. I would take that. I'll take that. I think Elder
you reckon?
Scrolls. Yeah, I think Elder Scrolls over
I go Fallout.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Controversial.
And the good one, EA or Activision?
Like,
Activision.
Oh, Activision. Why do you say Activision over EA?
it's like which pile of shit is worse?
No, exactly. That's why I like that one. That's why I like that
Yeah, it's
one.
good.
I think I've played more Activision games.
Sure. All right, and we're going to go with a bit of a bonus.
Yep.
Star Citizen, scam or no scam?
I'm wishful, no scam.
Hey!
Chris likes you now. He still likes you.
All right, I like you even more.
If you say it's a scam, he just ends the thing now.
It's like, yeah. If you
like,
said scam, that's it. Just, oh, what, our internet cut out? Oh, that's a shame.
Oh no.
So anyway, look, do you have anything else there? Like, that's the question. It's just a little bit of fun, just to sort of gauge where the sort of guests are at, whether they're right or wrong. Because there's no right or wrong. We want to continue to expand that and then shop and change it. Is there a sort of an A and B there that you can think of that we could add to this list?
I was expecting this, but I didn't prepare one. Tekken or Street Fighter?
Okay, well, because we've got Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
Oh, of course there would be. But I was a Tekken.
You were a Tekken. I feel that you could have some. I think. What about Tekken or Virtua Fighter? Was that a
everyone
rival?
would say Tekken though. Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone would say
Virtua
Tekken.
Fighter.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think
Gross.
of like Tekken type games back then. I'm sure there was other ones. There would have been.
I'm
other
sure
ones.
there was.
Tekken was a bit of the standout there. But that's fine. No, I think Tekken and Street Fighter works. We can still change it up. That's cool. Well, let's add that to the list. Mr. Dano with the Tekken. That's where he's going. Well, look, that pretty much is going to bring us to the end of the stream. But Pav, what is all your social media goodies and bits and pieces? We will, of course, add it to Soul Calibur. Hang on, just calling
Soul
out.
Calibur. I used to play Soul Calibur on
There you
Dreamcast.
go.
Awesome
What do we
game.
think of that one?
Dead or Alive? Or
Dead or Alive.
There's so many of them.
Yes, I think.
Tushiden on PlayStation 3?
Sorry, the
On
what?
PlayStation 1? Tushiden? On PlayStation 1?
I don't think I played that one.
That was old school. That was kind of similar to Tekken at the time.
I think Dead or Alive, Tekken or Dead or Alive. I think that was the one that I was trying to think of the name of. Was Dead or Alive?
Soul Calibur was so good though. I reckon
was.
that's probably the best one.
Tekken's still my standout.
I think. So, okay, for those in the chat, what do we think is a better one? Do we want to go
Yeah, Soul Calibur 6 is awesome.
Tekken or Soul Calibur or Tekken and Dead or Alive in terms of comparison of the games? Like, I know
What are you basing it? Is it like around the same time that
Around
came
the-
out? Because there's all the different versions as well. It's kind of a hard one.
So hang on, so let's have a look. So Soul Calibur 6 is awesome by Dano. Dead and Alive may have it due to the swimsuits. I mean, that
Yeah,
just
Dead
says
or
it
Alive,
right-
that's
that
sort
just
of-
says it right there.
Yeah.
I just kind of felt like the combat mechanics were quite similar in the games compared to Soul Calibur, where it was a bit more booby physics in DOA.
Yeah,
says
everyone
Dano.
likes the booby
Yeah,
physics.
I think we have to go with Tekken or boobs. That's basically what it comes down to. Cool. We'll add that one to the list. So yeah, Pav, what is all your details? We will, of course, add it to the show notes.
My socials are Pavlovaface on everything. So just my username. Pavlovaface.
Where did you get the name Pavlovaface?
Yeah.
So my name is Pav. So I grew up being teased through primary school, being called Pavlova. I used to hate it as a kid.
Oh, right.
Right.
One day it just comes around. I was like, yeah, why don't I just like take it on and use it to my advantage? Then I used it in a game as my IGN for something back in year 9 or something it was, and it's just lived with me.
So where did face come from?
Just another word to add at the end of
just another
Pavlova.
word.
So I'm not just calling myself Pavlova.
Do you ever like eat pavlova while you're streaming? 'Cause that would be,
I want to be honest with you, I'm not a
better.
big Pavlova fan.
Oh, really?
I don't like meringue. The texture weirds me out.
You should get into it. I think that'd be a cool gimmick.
I don't know. I thought there was going to be a birthday party prank and you got Pavlova in your face or something. Like, I don't know. I thought there was some sort of Pavlova to the face. Okay, well, look, thank you so much, Luke. So there are your details. It is Pavlovaface for basically everything. We will, of course, we'll add those to the show notes so people can quickly find it. And as Agnes said, the infectious laughter with the smile and the welcoming warmth that Pav will bring you to his channel. Go check him out at twitch.tv/Pavlovaface. But that kind of brings us to the end of the show. Pav, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hope you had a good time. I had some fun. I thought there was some good stuff in there.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, thank you. That's kind of it.
Thanks, Pav.
Anything from you, Brett?
No.
No. Awesome. All right, we will hang around in the chat just for a little bit longer as we sort of just do at the end. But thank you to our listeners. Of course, if you have not had a chance to come over to our channel to check us out when we go live, be sure to come over to twitch.tv/Herdy_TV so you can get involved with the chat with all the other folks that we have and check it out live. Otherwise, for our Twitch viewers, if you didn't catch the whole show, this episode will, of course, be live in the next sort of couple of days, so you can play back and listen to the whole thing. All you need to do is search for Control-Alt-Record on any of your dedicated podcast apps. That's it. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you again next time. We'll see you later.
Bye.